Hello everyone and welcome to our third episode of our second series of the LLS Kitchen. You are in the LLS Kitchen. My name is Salvatore Galati and I will take you for a little tour of our wineries. Our journey will lead us to inside our maker and producer kitchens. Our producer will show us how to prepare one of their favorite dishes and then match it with one of their wines. After the live feed is over, you can visit our Facebook page and watch the video again. And you can even retrieve the recipe card with instruction so you can make your dish at home. We will also provide some retail suggestions where you can find the wine. As it is custom on this program and in Italy, we will start with an aperitivo. Aperitivo, as mentioned before, is a pre-game of the actual main meal of the day. People gather in bars, order a cocktail, and start eating some of the food prepared by the small kitchen within the bar. Those morsels of food include bruschette, olives, baby mozzarella, and all kinds of goodies. If you are in Spain, it will be called tapas. In the Basque region, they are called pincho. In Greece, Turkey, and Lebanon, they are called meze. But even if all those Mediterranean countries seem to have a similar tradition, of drinking before going to have some meals. In Italy, we have Jacopo Poli, and it's the only one that will prepare a cocktail for you today. Here they are.
Good evening again, everyone, and thanks again, Sal, for hosting us into your program. Here at Poli Distilleries, we use the traditional alembic. It's full copper made up by 12 cauldrons, and it still works with suspended baskets in order to give the most aroma that it can catch from the pounds that we distill. But we also have other alembics that help us for different products that can give a pleasure, different pleasure, a pleasure more round, more sophisticated. Like in this case, with the Uva Viva Italiana. Uva Viva obviously means grape alive and is made distilling the whole grape, Moscato and Malvasia. So we crush it, we ferment it, and as soon as the fermentation is done, is ready, we distill everything together. Pomace and juice. It is an incredibly aromatic material, and in its own way, it is like pisco, other than the fact that it is made in Italy. For today's cocktail, in fact, I've decided to make a Venetian pisco. For a Venetian pisco, I am gonna use half a lemon, freshly squeezed into the shaker. An ounce and a half of Uva Viva Italiana, a full ounce of pineapple juice, and just a little bit of sugar. I would say a teaspoon of sugar. Same as we did for the honey mojito, the mojito, it is very, very important to melt the sugar into the other ingredients, into the Uva Viva and the juice, before we shake it. Then we fill the other side of the shaker glass. There you go, and shake vigorously. Into a martini cup, double strength. There you go, a Venetian pisco for your enjoyment. Have a very good evening.
So they look very good. I can't wait until I go into my kitchen and make one. So today's theme is Sangiovese and its versatility when it comes to food. We have forever assumed that red wines will pair with red meats and heavier dishes, while we would open a bottle of white if we were about to enjoy a seafood dish. In principle, that is correct, but as always say, when it comes to wine, 1 plus 1 is 3. Sangiovese, for example, has the ability to become several different types of wine capable to match a whole host of different food. I call Sangiovese the mother of all the wines, especially in Tuscany, in the central part of Italy. You can make a luscious Morellino di Scansano if you are in Maremma, structured Vino Nobile if you are in Montepulciano, a complex Brunello if you are in Montalcino, a bold Montecucco just a few miles south with your name. Now remember, all those wines are made with Sangiovese, but named after the place from which they come from. So there are a way so you can make a distinction between the two. But when you get to Chianti Classico area, where wine changes from one village to another, there is no distinction as of yet that you can see on the bottle. So you must do some research. Turn the bottle around to see which village is the nearest so that you will know what to expect inside the bottle. To understand the difference, you really need to go there and observe the landscape. It's amazing how its environment matches the flavor profile of each Chianti Classico. So you definitely recognize the flavors looking at where you are. If you look at the dark, compact hills of Greve, they identify perfectly with the bigger, more structured styles of the Chiantis for their area. When in Castellina, you are surrounded by sharper, brown, rocky hills, and the wines there are much more edgy with a lot of minerality and soil components in it. In Castelnuovo dell'Ardenga, you have green, round, rolling hills. And here the wines are much softer with more luscious fruit and less tannic structure. And it's there that we'll be traveling today. The southernmost commune of the Chianti Classico appellation, Castelnuovo Berardenga. Properties here have been passed on from one generation to the other in original status. They never to be broken down in small parcels. In fact, the average property here is a lot larger than the properties closer to Florence. I'm always in awe when I drive toward this area. No factories, no large towns, and a very low population density. Those are some of the reasons why the area is so pristine, and also why I tend to gravitate towards the area when I want a break, when I want a little bit of peace and a little, again, break from civilization. Today, we'll be talking to my good friend Jacopo Bacci, straight from his kitchen. And as you can see, he's already has some piping pans and pots on his stove. So he loves to experiment with dishes and in his kitchen. And we also want to probe the versatility of his Chianti Classico. But, we're going to let him do the talking. Ciao, Jacopo. How are you today?
Ciao, Salvatore. I'm good. How is the line? Can you hear me well?
So, tell us a little bit about your property and your town of Castelnuovo Berardenga.
Yes, we are at Castello di Bossi, so in the most southern part of Chianti Classico, in Castelnuovo Berardenga. And as you say, we are pointing even on our label the sub-region where we are, because we think that Chianti Classico should be divided in different sub-zones, because the Sangiovese is giving us a different flavor profile. If you start from north, from Florence, and you go south, where we are close to Siena. Our Chianti Classico is our business card, is the product that we produce the most. It's really classic because it's 100% Sangiovese. We don't blend with anything else because, as you say, the Sangiovese for us is the king of the region, is one of the few grapes that is so linked to the area where it grows. We know that we have excellent Cabernet in California, in South America, in South Africa, in France, clearly, but the Sangiovese is practically only growing in Tuscany. This is why our business card, our front main bottle is 100% Sangiovese. And tonight, I want to point on the fact that if you choose Sangiovese or a Chianti Classico from Castelnuovo dell'Ardenga, you have a very versatile wine that is quite unusual for other Chianti Classico region. If I imagine about something more from the north, they are more green, more acid, so they are perfect if you are doing a barbecue, but they are a little bit more difficult if you are drinking them by itself or with soft food. So tonight, the reason why I choose this wine and choose this recipe is to show and to do an uncommon food pairing to show the versatility of this wine.
So tell us a little bit about what you're going to cook today.
We are going to cook some pasta, some paccheri, and we are going to use some product that you can use, you can find easily in United States. So calamari, prawn, dry tomato, sage, lemon, pepper, a good olive oil that you know very well.
Yes, I do.
A little bit of garlic, and it's very easy. So it's something that ingredients that you can find really easily next to your house, and is also quite easy to cook them. The only things that I already put in the water is the pasta, because the paccheri need 15-18 minutes to be perfectly cooked. So the timing was short, and I put them a little bit in advance.
Awesome. Why don't you walk us through the way you construct
So the
dish?
way is quite easy. You start with the garlic, and you don't need to cut everything in pieces too small, because you're gonna blend everything at the end and make like a nice sauce. So you start with the garlic and you let it get it cook with a little bit of olive oil.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of your olive oil. I got a few bottles in my pantry.
I know.
I'm running out again. I might have to come and visit you.
And the new olive season is quite soon. We are gonna harvest the olives, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Then you have to cut a few slices, very little of the skin of the lemon, just to give a little bit of acidity.
I never done that. That's actually a good idea.
The sage, even this you don't need to cut because it's gonna be blended at the end. The only things you should cut a little bit are the prawn. So you're gonna cook them more fast.
Mm-hmm. I know you're concerned with time. You only have 15 minutes to prepare this dish, but that's could avoid cutting it if you had more time.
You can do quite easy. When you cut the calamari, you need the fire very high, because they need to be cooked for not too long time, but they must be cooked properly. Yes. And you can help with some white wine, some from the pot and some for yourself.
Of course, I always cook with wine, meaning that I drink it.
But you drink it in the same time. Then, salt and pepper are quite personal. I always suggest to go very slow with the salt, and then you can add a little bit at the end. And when the calamari and the prawn are almost cooked, you add the dry tomato. So the dry tomato should be the last one that you put.
I understand. And so I agree with you. It depends on what kind of prawns you use. Fresh ones, frozen ones, they bring in different flavors, different level of iodine. So
these were fresh. Clearly, if you use a frozen one, you have to cook a little bit more because they release some water. Otherwise, everything becomes too watery. Then remember, you have to drain the pasta when it's only at the 80% of the timing, because you are not going to use the pasta in the traditional way, but use them as we're going to fill them with the sauce. So first, you don't have to burn your fingers, and then it's going to keep going cooking without the water. And then you can already start to use them like this. Now I'm gonna prepare just two to show, and then you can do as many as you want. Depends how many people you have.
So you place them on the plate. Can you bring the plate next to the phone so that we can see what you're doing?
Yes, just you have to put them
standing
like
up.
This.
Standing up. It's interesting. You use paccheri because it's a Neapolitan pasta, isn't it?
Yes, but it's quite large, so you can feel it easily. But you can use any kind of large format, so that you can easily. So you take the sauce from the pan, and now you have to lower down the volume for 1 second.
There will be a little noise, which is, it's okay. We like noise.
It's part of the game.
It's a working kitchen.
So now you get almost a fish ragu at the end. And the sage is giving that, flavors typical also of the meat ragu. So it's going very well with the Chianti Classico flavor. So you have the prawn, quite strong, the calamari, very light, but on the other end, you have the sage and the dry tomato helping
which brings up the aromatics. That makes sense.
Exactly. Now is the difficult part, especially if you have a little bit of time.
So you gotta stuff them.
Yes.
Miniature manicotti, if you want. Look at you. I never seen you in the kitchen. We always go and eat out there.
That is why when I get back home, I eat often in the kitchen too.
You should know that Jacopo's father, Marco, is also an excellent cook. He makes some. Go ahead.
At the end, you can do as many as you want. Then you can use some olive oil to finish the plate, and to give something a little bit crunchy, I have blended some old bread before, so I made like some pounder, and you can topping the plate. So it's something tasty, crunchy, and it can pair very well with the wine. So, and again, the wine that I choose is the Chianti Classico 2016. As we say, is 100% Sangiovese, but with a perfect maturation, and we have this fantastic balance between the alcohol and the acidity. So I like to say that when a wine is balanced by itself, it can go with everything. And this is I think, one of the best points on this wine, because it's really difficult to make a Sangiovese that can go well even without food. But I think it's been one of the reasons of the success of this bottle, especially in your market.
Absolutely, and I enjoy a nice bottle of this Chianti Classico. And you were talking about putting your, making sure that you point out that this is from Castelnuovo Berardenga.
Castelnuovo Berardenga is something that we pointed and we write on the front label. So it's something that we really want to market, not only the Chianti Classico, not only Castello di Bossi, but even the place where we are, because this is the future of the Chianti Classico, I think.
I agree with you. It's zoning of it because Chianti Classico is not just one. There is so many different styles, as I mentioned before in my little introduction. So let's see the final dish. Let's see. Let's look at the.
How we do like this. Let me see if I don't do any damage. Okay.
No. Oh, look at that.
So as you see, you can do 1, 2, 3, depends.
How hungry you are, right?
How hungry you are, or how many friends you have for
do you have any friends there
with
you
my girlfriend
today?
With me.
Let's see.
Yes.
Tell your friend. Dove? Ciao.
Here.
Hello. How you doing, Veronica? Make sure you have something in your glass.
Because she can't hear you because I'm wearing my headphone.
So I'm gonna do this. Ciao, Veronica. Come stai? I'm trying to use language.
She's listening.
Sign language.
Wait.
There we go.
Ciao.
Ciao. How you doing?
Drink.
Good way.
So when we have good food and good wine, we are great.
Cheers. So just to recap a little bit of the information that Jacopo shared with us, you will see that there is a little recipe card with the ingredients repeated as well as the instruction. You can find this on our Facebook page as well as a YouTube, Wineboy YouTube channel. You can rewatch the video as well as, slow it down, stop it so that you can follow the instructions properly. Also, you'll find information about where to buy the wine. You can find it at Wegmans, Sherry Lehman, Costco, Wine.com, and so on and so forth. But in case you live somewhere where those stores are not available, you can always look at our product locator, which will point out to a store near you that carries the wine. So this was actually very good, very easy, seems, and of course, delicious as all things. In Italy, seems that to be simple but delicious. It's the key of Italian cooking, and pairing as well with a nice local wine. Well, I actually want to say, if anybody has any questions, I know that we have some people that are connected with us, so maybe on Facebook, please bring it up, and we'll have Jacopo respond. In the meantime, I want to remind you that we do have another episode coming up, which I don't remember where we're going. Lauren, help me out here. Where are we going next week? I forgot.
I believe we're going to Suabia.
Oh, yes, we are going to Veneto, and we're going to the town of Suabia, which is where the birthplace of Soave. Exactly. Meantime, Jacopo, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, Sal.
It will be, I'm thinking about coming to Italy. I have an Italian passport, so they should be letting me in. I might have to be locked in Castello di Bossi for 14 days, It's
not a bad place.
Isolated, maybe we can go and hunt a wild boar and cook it. Or maybe some truffles. I saw you you were picking some truffles the other day. Is it truffle season?
2 weeks. It's starting right now, but it's going to be good in 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks. Now are the first one that they are nice to see, but not still what we want to eat. Because the summer has been very dry, so we are waiting for the rain, and actually it's been raining for 2 days, so it looks like in 2-3 weeks it's going to be perfect.
So remember, in case you want to go and visit Castello di Bossi, it is located in the southern part of the Chianti Classico in Castelnuovo Ardenga. They have facilities where you can stay. There is what do you call it? Agriturismo. Yes, rooms on a farm, plus incredible fields, and maybe Marco or Jacopo will take you out for a little spin in his Defender. You still use it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome. Va bene, looks like no questions come up, so thank you very much, Jacopo.
Thank you, Sal.
Ciao.
Presto. Ciao.
I'll see you next week.